everyone to another edition of Suplexes, Scores, and Save Points. Hashtag Triple S Pod. Today, we're doing as always. We're suplexing. We're doing some wrestling talk. I am Ryan. With me, as always, is my co-host, the one-time loser of the pay-per-view predictions. It is Nathan.
I guess I gotta do a Jake the Snake promo this week.
That's right. We'll get that at the end of the show. We will have Nathan.
No. Let's go ahead and get it over with before I forget what I was going to say.
All right, let's start it off. So as of last week, Nathan lost for the first time ever. He lost the pay-per-view predictions, which means he's getting punished, which means he has to do a Jake the Snake Roberts promo. And whenever you're ready, you can start it off, Jake.
All right, so to do a Jake the Snake Roberts promo, you have to go into the deepest, darkest annals of your mind. And it's scary here. I like salads. You know what kind of dressing I like on my salads? Caesar! Oh, Caesar! You know, some people like to have nuts on their salads. Well, I can tell you right now, you're not busting a nut on my salad. That's right. You want some? You ain't gonna get none. You know, just like a python wrapping around its prey, taking its last breath in a slow, agonizing death, kind of like this promo. I'll tell you one thing. Never trust a snake. There you go.
Oh, that was great. That was fantastic. I'm crying over here. Oh, I'm never going to bust a nut in my salad. Whew. All right. And on that note, let's bust in.
Before we get into all the results, let's go with some news right off the bat.
Okay.
Because we got shows returning.
Yes, we do.
We got ROH tonight coming back on Fight TV. NXT UK comes back this week with the what is that? On the
Heritage.
ROH, the Heritage tournament, Heritage Cup tournament, and then on ROH they're having a tournament called for the Pure title, which it hasn't been around since the mid 2000s. So
yeah, they're bringing that back.
And then NWA is having an NWA title match between Mike Bennett and the champion
Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis. That's happening on some kind of indie pay-per-view. I'm not sure what it is.
They've got a deal with I can't remember the name, but yeah, they've got a deal where they're going to do monthly, maybe weekly. I'm not sure. Pay-per-views, which will be a partnership with them and somebody else. So also on that show will be Nick Aldis's bodyguard, Camille, was going to wrestle. So.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. What other news? Oh, for some reason, Mandy Rose is traded to Raw.
Yeah, so that was announced on Talking Smack. If you don't watch Talking Smack, you didn't know. Oh, well, I mean, they put out a tweet. Basically, The Miz had some sort of pull, and The Miz got Mandy Rose traded to Raw. There's been no word on who was traded for her, so we'll figure that out
Probably nobody knows.
At a later date. But apparently, The Miz has a lot of pull, and he got Mandy
apparently
Rose
talked
traded.
to the Fox and the USA executives.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does have a show on USA, so I guess, kind of makes sense.
There you go.
Real quick, came out today, Jeff Hardy signed a new deal with WWE, so he's not going anywhere.
So he's not going to All Elite.
Nope, he is not. He's not All Elite. I want to real quick run down what that Heritage Cup tournament's going to be like. So, 8-man tournament, they will be doing it under British Rounds rules, which if you don't know what that is, if you remember a couple years ago, TNA had a title called the Grand Championship. and it was fought in a rounds system. This is going to be like that, but a little bit different. So a round system, a British rounds tournament, 3 or 6 3-minute rounds. It is the best out of 2 falls. You can get a fall by pinfall submission or a countout. If you are disqualified or if someone is knocked out, the match ends instantly. If it goes all 6 rounds, then whoever has the most falls wins.
I don't really understand why they have the rounds, though.
I don't. There's like a 10-second break in between each round, too, so it's not like it's...
Yeah, I don't really like, if there was going to be rounds, you'd think at the end of the match maybe there'd be some scoring on the rounds or something. The rounds don't really make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. It's British rules. I don't know. But that is going to be that tournament. 8 men. They've been announced. We'll maybe get to that later. I'm not sure who's in it right now. But that we'll get into that with our review next week.
Yeah, and also, not only is it just a tournament, they win a cup, and they're going to defend the cup like a title afterwards. So that's what I guess this is going to be their mid-card title. I was kind of hoping for the European title to come back, but instead we get
the Heritage title.
We get the Heritage.
Heritage is a title name I've always used when I used to do like my own stuff. You know, like on wrestling games, I'd always make the Heritage Championship. So I've always liked that name, so I'm into it. So
yeah. Don't want the European title.
It's dead. It's gone forever.
Damn it.
All right. I think that's about all the news. Not a lot else.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the show reviews. We'll start with the longest show, the worst show. We're starting with Monday Night Raw because the show.
Yeah.
So start off the show with Randy Orton, and then McIntyre came out driving an ambulance, and Claymore kicked him, and that was it.
Yeah, here's my problem with that. They were bringing up the whole fact that he might not make it for the pay-per-view, but he comes back like 2 or 3 weeks before the pay-per-view. What's up with that?
Yeah. And then yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He's apparently Superman because he got up from 3 punt kicks, and 1 punt kick took out like Christian forever. So
yeah.
Then basically Adam Pearce, who is basically in charge of every show at this point, told him to leave because with Retribution they can't have him being there. And McIntyre said he would leave. That leads us to our first match, which is Apollo Crews, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander versus the Hurt Business. This was I hate 6-man tags, so for me this match was eh. But it had a cool ending with Cedric Alexander turning heel on Ricochet. And Apollo and Cedric apparently aligned himself with the Hurt Business. So
Yep.
So there's that. Hurt Business has now gained another member. So it was cool. I mean, I'm interested to see what Alexander is going to do as a heel. So he was getting kind of stale. So we'll see what he does as a heel. We'll get into that. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade. You know, Garza and Andrade basically broke up at this point. The Garza and Andrade were arguing the whole time, and then Garza kind of left Andrade high and dry, and Dawkins hit the sky high frog splash combination and got the win.
Yeah.
And then Cesaro and Shinsuke show up because apparently they can do a quarterly superstar something or other. I don't remember.
Yeah, they call it, like literally a few months ago they called it something else, and now they're calling it this. So
yeah, the quarterly.
Before it was gonna be once a month. Now it's quarterly.
The quarterly brand-to-brand invitational, and they challenge. Jesus. So next week it will be champion versus champion. So right. That's something. And since they broke up, they have to wrestle. It was Peyton Royce versus Billy Kay. This match sucked. Peyton Royce got the win.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I feel like Billy Kay.
Then they hugged afterwards.
Then they hugged. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Billy Kay's probably gone from this point. She probably is going to be a jobber or move down to NXT or something.
Hey, she's probably who they traded
Maybe. But Peyton Royce is in for a huge push here, so we'll see what happens there.
We'll see how huge it is.
They interview the Mysterio family, which is whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if Aaliyah is going to start wrestling at this point because she's now on the show every week. I mean,
let's hope not.
Might as well let his other daughter wrestle too. Then they had a weird segment where it was, before it was announced that the Riot Squad are going to take on like both of the other people in 2-on-1 matches, which is weird.
Yeah.
Mickie James and Asuka took on Natalya and Lana, and Asuka Mickie James won, which probably leads to Mickie James versus Asuka at Clash of Champions.
No, that's happening tonight.
Oh, that happened tonight? Oh, well, that's interesting. And then it was official that Cedric Alexander joined the Hurt Business. He said that instead of getting beat down every week, he's going to join them. So, I mean, it makes sense. Why get beat up every week if you can be on the other end of beating people up? So,
yeah, basically he's a quitter.
Then the Hurt Business wrestled again in another multi-man match. It was the Hurt Business versus the Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews. Like I said, I hate these matches, but the Hurt Business got to win. Really good to see that because I didn't know what they were going to do here. I figured they just had a heel turn. They needed to win. So the Hurt Business wins. And it was Ricochet who picked up the win. So.
And Ivar from the Viking Raiders did a dive on the outside, which he should never do, and he got hurt.
Yeah, it first came out that it wasn't a serious, and now it's coming out that it is. So I don't know for sure how long he's going to be out, but if it's a broken foot, he's going to be out for a while. And just to prove that WWE's better than AEW, they actually, stopped the match and didn't let him continue. So just throw that out there.
There you go.
Just to throw that out there as a little shot.
Oh boy.
Then they had Randy Orton and Keith Lee, and then again, Drew McIntyre shows up again and hits him with another Claymore kick. At this point, Keith Lee has got to be getting upset. Every match he has with Randy Orton, McIntyre gets involved.
Yeah, that's also happening tonight on Raw.
Yeah, Keith Lee's wrestling Drew McIntyre tonight, so.
They just what the hell?
Yeah, whatever. So then it was the Riot Squad versus Shayna Baszler. The Riot Squad get the win. When Morgan rolled her up, and then they took on Nia Jax. But then Retribution came out, and they talked for the first time.
Yeah.
Yay.
With scary voices.
They had like the, when they do like cop shows and this person which remained anonymous voice. They had that voice. They basically made it seem like that it was people who have been released or have been hurt by WWE at some point, and that's why they're back.
But it can't be. It's not going to be.
Yeah. It was bad. This promo was stupid, but yeah.
So where do they go with it after that? If it's not people that were released and they're bringing it back, then where is it? Where
yeah, they made the implication they've all been like wronged by WWE. But if it's a bunch of NXT people, how have they been wronged? Just by not getting called up? Like I don't understand. So we'll see what happens this week. Maybe something else will happen, but it was not. It was weird. Then it was time for Raw Underground. And Owens and Aleister Black fought, and it was like not long at all. And it was stupid. So there you go. And then Dabo Kato got involved for no reason whatsoever. Raw Underground, it would be fine if they'd let them actually fight for longer than like 3 minutes.
Yeah, but that's how real fights are.
There's fights that go 6 rounds. Come on. You don't give me that. Anyway. And then McIntyre hit him with a third Claymore kick. Because why not?
Yep.
And then Randy Orton was into an ambulance. So this feud's just not doing it for me.
No.
And then, they had the street fight, which was the main event. Dominic versus Murphy. And this was, it was, for what it was nice. Dominic's really good. Murphy's really good, so I didn't mind this. But then the whole Mysterio family got involved, and they just beat the shit out of him with kendo sticks.
Until he gave up.
Yeah. It was
Dominic came off of one of the screens. That was different.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But then Angie and Aaliyah and everybody else and Dominic and Ray all just beat the hell out of him, which was nasty. But
not as nasty as what he got. That one.
No. So I mean, it was a nice show. It was all right, but again, it was a typical Raw. You saw the same people all the time, and the same feud's been going on for 7 months. Yeah. So that was
getting old.
Yes, it is.
On Impact, Tennille Dashwood is back.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that last week. And she can't talk at all, especially when there's no crowd. So she's somehow, I don't know if she's getting a title shot, but Kaylee Ray is supposed to get the title shot because she came back from Wrestle House. So not sure what's going to happen with all that.
Kylie Ray?
Oh, Kylie Ray.
Because Kaylee Ray is the NXT UK champion.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, there's too many.
Anyway.
They all sound the same. But yeah.
Yeah, those two names should not be this. That is pretty close. Eric Young came out at the beginning of the show. Eddie Edwards came out confronting him, said he wanted a rematch. Then Eddie Edwards attacked him, but Eric Young ended up hurting him. And then Tommy Dreamer got mad. And then so your main event this week is Tommy Dreamer versus Eric Young.
You can't see it, but I'm literally face palming right now.
And then we had a good match between Chris Bay and TJP. TJP won, so he's number one contender for the X Division Championship. And then we had a match between a tag team title match between the North, or between not the North. I wish it was the North. The Motor City Machine Guns and the Rascals, and the Machine Guns win again. And then the North comes out, and so does Madman Fulton and Ace Austin. And then the Good Brothers come out, and so you have all 5 teams. I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of multi-tag team title match at some point.
It'll probably be Ultimate X.
Yeah. You had Moose in the back getting stalked by EC3, and apparently he has the powers of taking over people's bodies or something. Like he can make people do what he wants, because apparently there was a high school coach for Moose back there, and he was talking to him, and then all of a sudden his high school coach started talking like EC3. It was bizarre.
What is with Impact? That. Like, every other company is going, like, realistic, and Impact's like, you know what? Screw it.
And then, apparently RVD and, oh, man. What's Solomon Crow? What's his name now?
Sami Callihan?
Yeah, what the hell?
Solomon Crow.
Solomon Crow, but not. Yeah. Anyway, Sami Callihan and RVD are apparently going to keep their feud going, and he said that RVD's girlfriend outsmarted him, which if she outsmarts anybody, that's bad.
Yeah, you're not a very smart fellow if you get outsmarted by her.
Yeah. So they're continuing their feud.
Yay.
Brian Myers wrestled Willie Mack again, and he beat Willie Mack again.
Oh.
He beat Willie Mack. He kicked him in the nuts and hit him with while the referee's back was turned, he kicked him in the balls and hit him with Edge's DDT, like the Impaler DDT. He's basically Edge. He's Impact's Edge right now is what he is. And so he got the win. The main event, like I said, was Eric Young and Tommy Dreamer. I didn't even pay attention to this match.
Man.
Eric Young ended up winning after a bunch of bullshit. They had some more stuff with Ty Valkyrie planning the wedding of Johnny Bravo and what's her name? My brain's on vacation.
Rosemary.
But anyway, they had that. Rosemary. They had that, and then the only other interesting thing on the show was Heath Slater. That little thing backstage with Heath Slater, and he says they're having all these promos, and he told Rhino that he can't keep doing these promos because he's going broke, and there are these promos to try to get him hired, and he said he can't do them anymore because he's running out of money, and he's got 18 kids, and he's got a it was pretty funny. So they got to find a different way to get him hired by Impact. There you go. But that was Impact.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful wrestling product.
Yeah, I hate that you make me do this Impact reviews. I tell you what.
Well, you know, I'm the WWE guy, and you're the everybody else guy.
Yeah. So
right.
NXT.
So NXT was still on Tuesday this week. It was Super Tuesday too. They're back to the normal everyday run-of-the-mill Wednesdays here next week. But the show kicked off with the NXT Championship match, Finn Balor and Adam Cole. This was a 2 commercial break match. Very long and very good, which we all kind of thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Very back and forth. There was a lot of false finishes, didn't know what was going to happen. The ending was a 1916 off the top rope, which I was into it.
Yep.
My whole computer just froze.
Yeah, that was a pretty scary move, honestly.
Yeah, you're doing like basically a one-arm DDT, like from the top rope.
Yeah.
But so the new NXT champion is Finn Balor.
But so Adam Cole is definitely a face now.
Adam Cole is leaving.
He shook his hand after the match.
He shook his match. Then they did the whole too sweet after when it came back from commercial break. And they interviewed him later, and he basically talked about the better man won. I think Adam Cole's leaving. Whether or not the whole Undisputed Era is going with him, he's getting called.
I don't know. What's weird is, okay, so go ahead and get into the other Undisputed Era match because I got something to say about that.
Okay, before we get to that, I guess we don't have to go in order. We don't have to go in order. Okay, so later on in the show, Roderick Strong fought Killian Dane. This was a weird match. Bobby Fish was out there with Roderick Strong, but not Kyle O'Reilly.
Not Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Now here's what I was gonna say. So there's no Kyle O'Reilly, no Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Are they gonna split into 2 teams? Is that what's gonna happen?
It's gonna be the NWO all over again. No, I don't know. Yeah, it was weird because you would think O'Reilly and Fish would be together, but I don't know. So O'Reilly was on this show at all. Roderick Strong did win that match against Killian Dane with help from Bobby Fish. So at least they're on the same page. The rest of the Undisputed Era, we don't know. There was a.
But you don't forget what's his name came down. Maverick.
Oh yeah, Drake Maverick came back out again, and wanted to form a tag team with. He wanted to form a tag team with
Killian Dane.
Good old Killian, and then Killian Dane kind of punched him in the face. So
I say eventually they're going to team up.
I think so. So yeah. So then earlier in the show, after the NXT Championship match, they were teasing a feud between Shotzi and Io. This was a convoluted. Aaliyah basically got chased throughout the arena by Io. It started with Robert Stone was going to take out her tank, Shotzi's tank. Blackheart chased her through the arena. She ran into Io Shirai. They both took out Aaliyah, but then Shotzi was like holding on to the belt as if to like say, "I want it." Weird.
She better not get her hands on that.
So they might wrestle at some point, which could be interesting. Velveteen Dream took on Ashanti Adonis, which is the former Tahuti Miles, so I guess he's underwent a name change.
What's up with what the heck's up with that?
Ashanti the Adonis. I don't know. Velveteen Dream got to win, but then Kushida came out and beat the hell out of him and whipped him into the shoulder first in the ring post a few times. So that was cool. It was I don't know. Yeah, Tahuti Miles, I like the name, but I guess maybe he wasn't like officially under contract, and now that he is, they changed his name. I don't know.
That could be.
I don't know. But
it's gotta be something, because why would you change his name out of nowhere like that?
Yeah, he's been on 205 Live like every week. And he's been on NXT and Raw before as Tahuti Miles, and now he's just Ashanti Adonis. So
Yeah.
Bronson Reed and Austin Theory had a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Theory kind of oversold a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, it reminded me of Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels.
That's exactly, yeah. But Bronson Reed got the win with a splash off the top rope. Just don't know how you take that, but and then it was the main event time: Mercedes Martinez versus Rhea Ripley inside a steel cage. This was fun. I liked it.
It was a pretty good match.
Pretty good match, yeah. It was back and forth. Robert Stone got involved. There was steel chairs. There was all sorts of high spot moments. But she hit the rip. But at the end, Rhea hit the riptide off the second rope through a table to win. I don't know what that means for Mercedes. And where she goes from here. She may be a part of Retribution. I don't know.
Yeah. Just for the record, I do not like the riptide.
It's not a very high impact move.
No, it was basically a road dog.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I really like Rhea Ripley, but she needs a better finisher because her move is not high impact at all. And it kind of makes it's weak. So
yeah. I feel like it was different before. Like when she won the NXT UK title, I feel like she used it was like that, but it was different.
Yeah, I thought she at least did it into a powerbomb or something.
She sat out with it.
I thought she did like a powerbomb with it, and now she sits down, just throws her like Road Dogg's move.
Yeah.
So that was NXT. Really good show overall. I mean, I really liked every match. I mean, they all had a story and had a purpose. We'll see what's going to be interesting what they do with Adam Cole next and what they do with Mercedes, and the whole Undisputed Era thing is going to be interesting. But
yeah,
it was a pretty good match, pretty good show. We will now transition into Dynamite, which was on Wednesday with no competition, and it did really good ratings, and everyone's freaking out about it because it topped 1 million. I don't think ratings matter.
It's getting under your skin.
I don't personally. I don't care about ratings. I don't think the only people who care about ratings are the companies and the shows, but in the networks. But I don't like it when people argue about what ratings mean. But they did do over 1 million, which is really good. So I will give them that. No competition works for them. So
ratings matter whenever they start getting up to SmackDown numbers or Raw numbers, then it's like, so they got to keep an eye on that.
So we'll see what they do this week now that NXT is moving back to Wednesday. Let's see if they keep the momentum.
Yeah.
But this show was pretty good. You had a couple of surprise moments. So
yeah, it wasn't bad. I'll let you run down the matches.
Okay, so it started off with the Lucha Brothers, the Butcher and the Blade versus Jurassic Express and Marco Stunt. Or it was just the Lucha Brothers versus Jurassic Express. I read that wrong.
Yeah.
This was a typical AEW tag team match. It was high flying. I really liked the Lucha Brothers though, so I was into it. Too bad they lost. But they had a Phoenix and Penta kind of fucked up the ending there, and they got into it. And then Kingston kind of had to calm them all down.
He can talk, but that's about all he's got.
Hopefully that's all he's there to do, honestly.
He says he's there to win titles. So we'll see.
And then Jake Roberts had another promo, which is another Jake Roberts promo. He says Moxley's going to piss himself. So, it's a typical Roberts promo. He just says what he wants.
I know. I forgot to throw that one in there.
Yeah. Matt Hardy came out and basically said he's okay and that he's going to do 100% recovery. Ribby was there.
For a highly rated episode, there was a lot of promos, not as many matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I find it funny how he comes on this show and says he's going to make a recovery, and then Chris Jericho says on his podcast that he was never actually injured. But I digress.
Yeah.
Angelico was on the show for the first time since the beginning of the year as he took on Orange Cassidy. This match was not very long, but it was a typical Orange Cassidy kind of comedy kind of match. And Orange Cassidy won with the Orange Punch.
Which is a Superman punch.
Yeah. Very weak. I don't know, understand it, but whatever.
Well, it's a Superman punch from a 155-pound man. I'm just.
Yeah. And then P&P or Santana Trees attacked Orange Cassidy, and the Best Friends came out. They're doing a parking lot brawl next week to avenge the van or whatever.
Yeah, his mom's minivan.
Yeah. And then Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford come out to talk about their wedding. Brian Pillman Jr. comes out, and
before that, it was some big dude. I don't know who it was.
I don't know who that was. He said that Brian Pillman Jr. was like what, happy that he asked him to be the best man, and then Sabian said, "You're the best, man." And then
he said he sent it to him in a text message.
And then the real best man comes out, and it's Miro, a.k.a. Rusev.
Yeah.
He used his normal voice in a promo, and he said the same thing that every single former WWE guy says, where he was tired and that he wanted, you can shove the brass ring and blah, 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 blah. I didn't like this promo because it was the same thing Brody Lee said. It was the same thing that Zack Ryder said. It was the same thing that Kurt Hawkins said. It was the same thing Eric Young said. It's the same thing they've all said. And I don't understand why everybody's praising this promo. It was a good promo if I hadn't heard it 50 times already this year. But Miro is all elite, so it's kind of weird because he was just.
There you go.
And the only reason I don't believe this promo, like I would have believed it, but when he was just on Twitter defending WWE not that long ago, which makes me think, yeah, that was just him reading a script. That was not him actually saying what he meant, because he was defending WWE, saying that they gave him to live out his dream and travel over the world, and he met his wife, and he has no hard feelings towards WWE. And then he comes out and says this, and it's like, okay, it's obvious you didn't say what you meant. You know, that was obviously a written promo. But then they had another promo, an Adam Page promo. Basically talking about FTR and the Young Bucks and Omega and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then later we have a Kenny Omega promo.
Yeah. Before that, we had the no DQ tag team match between Jericho and Hager versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. This match went way too long for it being Jericho and Hager versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. I'm two former world champions, and it took them this long to put away Kiss and Janela. I'm just saying.
I agree.
That's one of the problems with AEW. I know they want to have everybody kind of be equal and they want to push, but sometimes you just got to let the big guys win. And then MJF had a promo. John Moxley had a promo. FTR had a promo. Just promos all over the place. Tay Conti was on the show. She's officially signed. She wrestled Nyla Rose and Rose Beater, which was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Why'd they put her against her like that, man?
I'm tired of them bringing people in, they sign them, and then they have them lose right away. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And then, as you said, they had the Omega promo. Then the main event was the TNT Championship, Brody Lee versus Dustin Rhodes. This was okay. Dustin Rhodes can still go, I give him that, but he's still, I don't know. But in the end, Brody Lee won, and so that was Dynamite. It was an okay show. I really don't know how the ratings were as good as they were when they had like 17 promos on this show, but
well, I think it was because people tuned in because it was after that pay-per-view, and then for some reason they stuck around. I don't know.
I would have tuned off normally if I didn't have to do this show.
The AEW Dark, there was not hardly anything worth watching on it, except the big guy that was in the Battle Royal at the pay-per-view, the jobber guy. is
Yeah.
no longer a jobber because he beat another jobber on dark, so now he's not a jobber no more. That's about the only thing
works? That's how that works?
That was the only thing. Yeah. He's above jobber status now.
He's a lower card guy now.
Yep. Let's see. I guess we go ahead and get into. You know what? I'm gonna throw in some New Japan right now. How about that?
Oh, go for
They
it.
had 3 shows. They were their road 2 shows, and they had a junior heavyweight tag team tournament.
It probably should be
It was
junior
their-
light heavyweight though. That'd be better.
Yeah. And so it's their 62nd time having this tournament, and it was only a 4-team tournament. It was round robin.
Did you just say 62nd?
So yeah, 62nd time they've done this tournament.
Did they do it like twice a year?
That's what.
Or what?
I don't know. That's what it said on there. That's what it said. I don't know. I just don't know what it said.
Fuck. Okay.
That's what it said. But actually, you know what? I bet that's not what it was. I bet it was they were crowning the 62nd champions.
That makes more sense.
Okay, that makes more sense. Let's go with that.
That makes more sense.
So it had Taguchi, the guy that hits people with his ass. Him teaming up with the newest addition to New Japan Pro Wrestling. His name is the Grand Master. I can't remember. It's Grand Master something. I can't remember what his name is. But it's Grand Master something. He does the spinal tap from like AJ Styles' old move, which is crazy. It had those 2. You had El Desperado and his tag team partner. For some reason, I can never think of his name. It's hard to pronounce. And then you had from the oh man, I can't pronounce any of this shit. Ingroscom, that Spanish word that Naito uses for his team. Los Ingobernables. There we go. Something like that. Yeah. From those 2, from that team, you had the ticking time bomb Takahashi, and you had Bushi, and then the other team was Gato, teaming up with junior heavyweight champion Taiji Ishimori. I guess they're really low on people because they have Gato wrestling in a match or in a tournament. But it was, like I said, round robin, and the winners of the tournament and your I'm guessing your 62nd New Japan junior heavyweight tag team champions. I can't say fucking talk today, man. What it is El Desperado and the other guy that I can't pronounce. They've won the titles. This is their 4th reign, and I think it's the 2nd time they've won a tournament. So there you go. Not who I thought was going to win, honestly. I guess we can go ahead into SmackDown now.
All right. From the Thunderdome, it was SmackDown live on Friday. It kicked off the show with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Basically, it was the same old Roman. It was the same old Paul Heyman promo as always. Okay, buddy, Thunderdome. Yes, can you go? Thank you. It was the same Heyman promo as usual. And then Jey Uso comes out, and he was talking about how they're blood and their family and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Roman was, like, acting heelish, but not really. It was weird. He wasn't really doing anything.
It's weird.
And then Corbin and Sheamus came out, and Jay said they are going to have a tag team match later in the show. And that was that. The first match of the night was Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. But Sami Zayn came out and said This is not for the Intercontinental Championship because he is the real Intercontinental Champion. So, Pierce made him leave because Adam Pierce is running the show nowadays. This was a pretty good match, back and forth. In the end, AJ Styles won by disqualification because Sami Zayn came out and he tripped up AJ Styles and then hit Jeff Hardy with the Haluva kick. So,
all right.
And then I don't know if this was like a shot at AEW, but Jeff Hardy fell on his way to the back. I don't know what that had to do with anything. I really don't know. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know what that meant. Like, why did that? I don't know. See, and then they had this thing, and they had that chick backstage, and she said Jeff never lost consciousness, which again seems like a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know why they're taking shots at AEW.
I don't know. It's just whatever. It doesn't make sense to me. They had a tag team match: Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro versus the Lucha House Party. It was Metal Week. It was Metal Week and Kalisto this time because Kalisto said he's going to show Wednesday how it's done.
Yeah.
They get the win after the Street Profits are shown backstage in Cesaro and Nakamura's Champions Lounge. Kalisto rolled up Cesaro and got the win, so that was pretty cool. Next was Bayley's promo. This was pretty good. Pretty good promo. She says that she felt good doing what she did. She said that Sasha was using her entire career. But she says she was using Sasha too. So they used each other. Nikki Cross ran out, and then Bayley hit her with a chair for no reason. And then it's time for the number one contender women's championship match: Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross versus Tamina versus Lacey Evans. This became a triple threat match really quickly as Alexa hit Cross with the Sister Abigail on the outside and left. So then it became it became a three-way between Evans, Tamina, and Nikki. It was they all hit their moves at the end, and then Nikki pinned Tamina with the Sunset Flip, and Nikki's the number one contender again. I think the big story of the match was Alexa Bliss and not Nikki, but okay, she kind of seemed overshadowed.
Yeah, don't really get that.
I'm assuming that Nikki's probably going to get screwed out of the title by Alexa, but
yeah.
And then we had Otis versus Morrison. This was a very quick match. Otis won.
Yeah.
They're fighting over the contract, and I don't understand how, like, just because they have it, I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't know where the storyline is.
Miz says that if he can get a hold of the contract, he can have his lawyers find a loophole to where Morrison can get the title shot.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm just saying. So we'll see. Then it was time for the Firefly Funhouse, where we're going to introduce the newest friend. It was supposed to be Pascal the Persevering Parrot, but the parrot never comes out. Apparently, he forgot to put holes in the box, and so the parrot was dead. And then Devil Vince walks out, and he says that since Wyatt lost the Universal title and lost the parrot, that he lost his trust, and he can't handle the responsibility of the Funhouse on his own. So he brought in Wobbly Walrus, which was basically a play on Paul Heyman, which means he still has his eyes set on the Universal Championship. And Vince said it's such good shit again, which was whatever. What a segment that was. Wobbly Walrus. And then it was the main event tag team match. It was a 2-on-1 handicap match for the whole show, for most of the match. Uso was doing all he could, and then Roman walks out, tags in, hit him with the spear, and won.
Yep.
So that's Roman's new gimmick, is he's going to show up at the end of the match and beat him in 5 seconds and then walk out.
Yeah.
I mean, Jey Uso almost won this match by himself, so they did make him look good. But in the end, A pretty good show.
Yeah, he's gonna get killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
205 Live had the former Tahuti Miles, Adonis, taking on Brian Kendrick, and Brian Kendrick beat him because Adonis got cocky, and when he got cocky, Brian Kendrick took advantage. So I'm not really sure who the face and the heel was in this match.
Yeah.
Everrise squashed some dudes. They hit like 5 different tag team moves on them, and they won with their version of the Shatter Machine. And then the main event was Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch taking on I can never pronounce this tag team name, Ryan. You gotta help me. The guy,
yeah,
Lucha guys.
It's God dang it! Why am I slipping now? It's the
Del Fantasma. I don't know what the first part.
Legado del Fantasma.
Yes,
like
thank
that,
you.
Which is basically the legacy.
And the Fantasma team. They ended up beating Old New York and Danny Burch, and then Everrise came out, and then they all started fighting. So I guess there's going to be like some kind of 3-way kind of deal, try to crown number 1 contender for the NXT tag team titles.
Everrise, I'm into them. I like Everrise; they're pretty cool.
And then now I guess the last show we got to review here is
New Japan Strong.
New Japan Strong.
We have way more shows next week, but right now it's New Japan Strong is the only show left. So the first match was TJ Perkins and ACH versus Adrian Quest and Logan Regal. This was basically 2 veterans versus 2 of the young boys or whatever the heck they're called. This was a pretty good match though.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. In the end, ACH hit him with a brain buster and then hits him with a frog splash, and it was over. TJ Perkins and ACH get the win. The second match was Rocky Romero versus Danny Limelight. It was, again, back. I mean, it's New Japan. Every match is going to be back and forth. Every match is going to be, pretty good length of time. I mean, that's just the New Japan style. And in the end, he hit him with the shirt. Basically, he did the sliced bread, essentially.
All right.
But the standing version. And then he hit him with the Diablo armbar, and he tapped out. So Rocky Romero gets the win. The third match was a tag team match. The Guerrillas of Destiny versus David Finlay and PJ Black. Again, back and forth. Pretty good match. I'm David Finlay's growing on me, honestly. When my first match I saw from him, I was like, but I'm starting to like him a lot more now. And but in the end, the Guerrillas of Destiny get the win, which is what Is there a tag team move called the Ape Shit?
Yeah.
Wow. Ape Shit. Okay. Well, the Guerrillas of Destiny got the win. And the main event was Kenta versus Jeff Cobb for the IWGP United States Right to Challenge contract. I didn't know what was going to happen in this match. It was back and forth. It was a lot of kicks by Kenta. A lot of kicks by Kenta. Cobb had a lot of suplexes, so it was basically suplexes versus kicks. Kenta, in the end, hit him with the briefcase, hit him with the penalty kick, and then hit him with the GTS. So Kenta is still the number 1 contender. And at some point, we'll wrestle Jon Moxley. We're still not sure when. But at some point, he will wrestle Jon Moxley for the United States Championship.
Yep.
That was a pretty good show. If you know, it's only an hour long. If you haven't checked it out yet, if you're into, the New Japan style, but with all American people, essentially, like I am, go ahead and check it out because it's a pretty good show. That's pretty much it. Pretty good week at wrestling overall. I enjoyed most of it.
New Japan did announce the A and B blocks for the G1, who's in each one. We'll go over that next week. So that G1's happening pretty soon. You have to watch every match, Ryan. That is the rule.
All right, I'll be in it.
Just the G1 matches. Though.
My days off will be my days off of work will be watching G1.
Yeah.
I guess real quick, she's probably not going to have much of a career, but The Rock's daughter is having a third surgery on her knee. Man. So that would make me think that her career is probably not going to be much if she's already had 3 surgeries.
No.
But
no.
There's that. That's about all the other news I have. That's about all
the mystery chick that's been on Raw or on SmackDown. A lot of people are thinking it's Carmella.
Yeah, they found like a tattoo on her arm.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be Carmella, which is going to be weird. I don't know how they're going to explain how she underwent this huge makeover.
Yeah, and I think because maybe this is my theory. Maybe because she's a hot blonde doing some, model type gimmick, they decided Mandy Rose and her can't be on the same show. And that's the real reason why she got sent to Raw.
I mean, that's probably accurate, but the whole solution to that would be not to have Carmella do this gimmick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Carmella. I just don't know how they're going to explain how she went from, like, the Staten Island, like, trash talker to a model.
Yeah, don't really make any sense.
Or whatever she's going to portray. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
We'll get more information on that this week probably. Retribution will probably strike again this week. So
nah.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Some of us are looking forward to this. I think that's pretty much everything I got for wrestling this week, man.
Yeah. We next week will be we'll try to condense the shows a little bit because we're gonna have 2 new shows added to the list. We'll have NXT UK and ROH added on. So luckily we don't have a pay-per-view for a while, but we have more shows coming. So we'll try to condense our shows a little bit more, kind of get through every show that happens throughout the week. So, and when MLW comes out, we'll hit that as well. So stay tuned because we're going to have a lot more wrestling to talk about.
Yes.
It's going to get fun up in here. All right. So that's going to do it. Thank you for listening and watching and enjoying and all that fun stuff. And as always, for Nathan, I am Ryan. And as always, score if you can. Save if you must. But always suplex when necessary.
Aloha.
Hey, you did it right this time.
Yeah.